Radio Raheem here with Leo Santa Cruz, taking on probably the greatest challenge of your career, not only because you're, facing a champion and a guy who's really a tough opponent, but because you're facing, after your first loss, a chance to climb back in the ring and prove that, you're better than even the first fight. How do you do that, if not technically, mentally?
I think, I just have to think about what I want, I know I have to think it this way, this is like my last opportunity, If I lose this fight, everything finishes. Very good. That's what I put in my mind, that I have this do or die, I have to win this fight no matter what. And that's why, I get really motivated to go to the gym and train and do my best, get that extra out of me, and just think about my family, that I want to keep giving them a good future. And if I don't get this win, all of that is going to finish.
Now, when you say all of that is going to finish, I've actually heard you use the word retirement on the build of this fight. I mean, is that something that you're just saying to yourself to get yourself motivated, or is that a serious consideration? If you were to lose this fight 2 in a row, are you willing to hang up the gloves?
Yeah, it's kind of like something like I put in myself so that I could put motivation in myself, and that pressure, so that I won't do my best and try not to lose, and it's that. But also at the same time, maybe it could, because I feel that if this fight, I lose it, the fans, sometimes maybe they lose interest or they're not support. But if, as long as the fans they keep supporting me, they want to keep me seeing fighting, I'll fight. But if the fans they get disappointed in me and they say that they don't want to see me fight no more or like that, I could think about it. But and you never know. I just gotta talk to my team, whatever happens. But we're not gonna think about that. We want to think of positive. We want to go out there and we're gonna get the win.
I can tell you right now, you're not going to hear the fans tell you they don't want to see you again. That certainly isn't going to happen. When you look at the matchup from the first time, it was a fairly even fight. That's why it was so exciting. If you say it's a will to win, that's the difference. How does that will manifest itself physically in getting an edge in the rematch?
Being smarter, being smarter, trying to fight the best fight I could ever fight, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm the main event here in the MGM. This is where I always dream of, to be here, and all the hard work I did since I was small, now is, it's coming, it's all the benefits right now. So I have to look my best. I have to put in my mind that winning this fight is gonna get me up there again, and even bigger than I was before. Because Frampton is a great fighter. He won Fighter of the Year and many more awards. So beating that, getting this win is gonna even better than before.
You talked about fighting smarter and maybe the outside game, using your reach, whatnot. One of the things that's made you a great, exciting fighter is your willingness to brawl. Obviously, Frampton has that same willingness. Do you need to fight on the outside and stop brawling to win this fight? And it's obviously one of these fights that's going to be fought in the middle of the ring, so how do you stop yourself from getting drawn into a brawl with a guy who's game?
Yeah, I think my corner is the one that's going to be able to tell me that, stop me. If they see me that I'm brawling there too much or stuff, they're going to tell me I'm doing a mistake. And I'm going to have to, I listen to my dad, I listen to my dad really all the time, and I'm going to do everything he tells me. And, I'm going to try my best to use my distance, brawl on the outside, because if I stay inside, he's shorter, he has shorter hands, so he has the advantage there, because, I have longer arms, I have to open them a little bit more and stuff like that. So, I got to be smart, and at times I am going to go out there and, brawl, put pressure and stay on top of him, but right away I'm going to step back and use my distance and just be smart, because, this is a fight I have to be very, very smart and do everything I have to do to win.
And lastly, after a loss, the first loss for a fighter, they sometimes brood over that loss and replay it in their mind. Did you watch this fight over and over again? Were you designing a style or an approach that was different enough to win the second time out?
Yeah, no, I watched it one time already.
Just once?
Yeah, just once. My dad they were telling me to watch it, but I didn't want to watch it. But at the end, I ended up watching, and I saw it, and I saw what I have to do differently and what I have to change it up and what I did wrong. And it was, I felt great relief after watching it. I thought, when I saw the fight, it was, we were going back and forth, toe to toe. It was a pretty even fight. And I said, if I do these little adjustments, the next fight, I'll win it.
Radio Raheem with Leo Santa Cruz. Good luck Saturday night. You're a hell of a warrior. We're going to want to see you in the ring again, win, lose, or draw. You can believe that. We'll see him Saturday night at the MGM Grand.